Picture this, it's a moonless night in 1942, deep in the jungles of Guadalcanal. The air is thick with humidity, alive with the hum of insects, and then a blood-curdling scream pierces the darkness. Thousands of Japanese soldiers charge, their bayonets glinting, shouting banzai as they surge toward American lines. But waiting for them is a weapon that will change the course of the Pacific War, a rifle so revolutionary, it left the Japanese stunned and outgunned. This is the story of the M1 Garand, America's semi-automatic marvel, against the bolt-action Arisaka, a relic of a bygone era. It's a tale of courage, innovation, and the brutal math of firepower that decided battles from Guadalcanal to Okinawa. Stick with us to uncover how one rifle became the sound of victory, and watch till the end. October 24, 1942. Henderson Field, Guadalcanal. It's 10 p.m., and Private Robert Young Deere of the 164th Infantry Regiment crouches in the oppressive darkness of the Solomon Islands. His hands grip the M1 Garand, a sleek, gas-operated rifle loaded with 8 rounds in an N-block clip. His unit, fresh from North Dakota's National Guard, landed just 11 days ago, the first U.S. Army formation to take the fight to the Japanese in offensive operations. Alongside them, Marines still clutch their bolt-action Springfield rifles, a stark contrast to the semi-automatic power in Deere's hands. Suddenly, the jungle erupts. The chilling cries of banzai and tatsugiki signal a Japanese assault. Lieutenant Kenji Yamamoto of the 29th Infantry Regiment leads his platoon forward, his Type 38 Arisaka rifle awkward in the dense undergrowth, its 31.4-inch barrel catching on vines. Its 5-round magazine, loaded with 6.5mm rounds, demands he manually cycle the bolt after every shot up, back, forward, down. Behind him, newer troops wield Type 99 rifles, chambered for the heavier 7.7mm cartridge, but still limited by bolt action and 5-round stripper clips. In the next 12 hours, the clash at Henderson Field will reveal a truth that echoes across the Pacific: technology can outweigh courage, and the M1 Garand's firepower will prove unstoppable. The M1 Garand wasn't just a rifle, it was a game-changer. Designed by Canadian-American John Garand at Springfield Armory, it took 17 years of relentless innovation to perfect. By January 9, 1936, the U.S. Army made history, becoming the first nation to issue a semi-automatic rifle as standard infantry gear. The M1 fired the potent .30-06 Springfield cartridge, hurling a 150-grain bullet at 2,850 feet per second from its 24-inch barrel, delivering a bone-crushing 2,656 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Its gas-operated system was a marvel. Propellant gas tapped near the muzzle drove an operating rod, automatically ejecting spent casings and chambering the next round. A trained soldier could unleash 40 to 50 aimed shots per minute, each pull of the trigger a seamless act of destruction. Reloading? Under 3 seconds, thanks to the N-block clip. Compare that to the Arisaka rifles, rooted in Colonel Nariakara Arisaka's 1897 Type 30 design. By World War II, Japan fielded the Type 38 and Type 99, both bolt-action relics. The Type 38's 6.5mm round delivered just 1,650 foot-pounds, while the Type 99's 7.7mm packed 2,300 foot-pounds, but both required manual bolt cycling, limiting soldiers to 15 to 20 shots per minute. Their 5-round magazines meant reloading 60% more often than the M1. In the dense jungles, where fights happened at conversational distances, the Arisaka's long barrels and slow operation were a death sentence. America's industrial machine turned the M1 Garand into a symbol of dominance. Between 1936 and 1945, factories churned out 5.4 million M1s, with Springfield Armory alone producing 3.5 million and Winchester adding over 500,000. By 1944, Springfield hit a peak of 1,000 rifles daily, ensuring every GI and Marine in the Pacific was armed with semi-automatic power by mid-1943. Quality was relentless. Rifles failing to group within 5 inches at 100 yards were rejected, and parts were interchangeable across manufacturers. The .30-06 cartridge, standard across U.S. rifles and machine guns, simplified logistics, with plants like Lake City producing 200 million rounds annually by 1943. Japan, meanwhile, struggled. From 1905 to 1945, they built 3 million Type 38s and 3.5 million Type 99s across multiple arsenals, but never matched America's output or consistency. Early Type 99s boasted chromeline barrels and anti-aircraft sights, but by 1944, material shortages led to last-ditch rifles with rough machining, wooden butt plates, and no chrome lining. The dual-caliber system, 6.5mm for Type 38, 7.7mm for Type 99, caused logistical nightmares, with units like the 23rd Infantry on Guadalcanal receiving mismatched ammunition, rendering their rifles useless. Back at Henderson Field, the Japanese charge crashes into a wall of lead. Private Deer and his comrades unleash a torrent of semi-automatic fire. Each M1 Garand delivers 8 rounds before the iconic ping of an ejecting clip, reloaded in seconds. The 164th's rapid fire cuts down Japanese soldiers before they can close the distance. Private First Class James Cass later recalled, "They came in waves, their bayonets flashing in the dark. With our Garands, we could fire 8 rounds before they crossed 30 yards. It was like each man was a machine gun." The Japanese, led by Lieutenant Yamamoto, struggled to respond. Each Arisaka shot requires a slow, deliberate bolt cycle, breaking their aim and exposing them to return fire. Marine Private Robert Leckie, later author of Helmet for My Pillow, watched in awe. "We thought these army boys were green, but their Garands roared like nothing we'd heard. It wasn't the crack of our Springfields, it was a continuous storm." Colonel Bryant Moore reported his men fired over 250,000 rounds in 2 days, with Japanese bodies piling up, many still clutching Arisakas with full magazines, unable to fire more than once or twice before falling. The M1 Garand's advantages went beyond raw speed. Its semi-automatic action lets soldiers maintain their sight picture, enabling faster, more accurate follow-up shots. At 9.5 pounds, it absorbed the .30-06's recoil, keeping shooters steady. Its gas system worked flawlessly, even caked in mud or volcanic ash. The N-block clip, despite the ping myth, allowed reloads in under 3 seconds, compared to 5 to 7 seconds for Arisaka stripper clips. American training maximized this edge. At camps like Fort Benning, soldiers fired thousands of rounds, mastering 40 to 50 aimed shots per minute. The Army's field manual emphasized rapid, accurate fire, with trainees drilling to hold sight alignment between shots. Marines, initially skeptical, adopted rigorous programs blending the M1's speed with their marksmanship tradition. Japanese training, steeped in samurai ideals, prioritized one shot, one kill and bayonet drills. The Type 38's 50.3-inch length was ideal for bayonet fighting but a liability in jungles, snagging on vegetation and useless in tight bunkers. Japanese soldiers, trained for long-range precision, faced combat at 100 yards or less, where the Arisaka's slow cycle was fatal. The human cost of this technological gap was stark. Japanese Sergeant Masao Watanabe, a survivor of Guadalcanal, wrote in his memoir, "We were told one Japanese soldier equaled 10 Americans. But their rifles fired like machine guns. Our Arisakas felt like museum pieces. We'd fire once, hide to work the bolt, while they fired 5 times." Lieutenant Hiroshi Takahashi's letter, found on his body, described the M1's terror. "Each American seems to wield a machine gun. Our men fall before they can fire a second shot." On the American side, confidence soared. Marine Corporal James Russell said, "With the Garand, you felt invincible. 8 shots as fast as you could pull the trigger, and when you heard that ping, you slammed in another clip and kept going." At Saipan in 1944, a massive banzai charge of 3,000 Japanese met a similar fate. Private First Class Harold Agerholm recalled, "The Garands never stopped. The ping of clips was like music. They'd fire once, maybe twice, before we cut them down." Even in defensive roles on Peleliu, the Arisaka's slow fire couldn't match the M1's volume, allowing Marines to pin down Japanese positions while others advanced with flamethrowers. The M1 Garand shaped the Pacific's island-hopping campaign. At Cape Gloucester, Marines like Eugene Sledge praised its reliability in torrential rain. "Mud sucked at your boots, but the Garand kept firing. We'd shred Japanese positions before they could answer." On Okinawa, the bloodiest battle, 180,000 Americans faced 120,000 Japanese in fortified caves. Even here, the Arisaka's limitations were clear. Private First Class Desmond Doss, a medic who earned the Medal of Honor, credited the M1's rapid fire for covering his rescues. that roar of Garand's kept Japanese heads down, letting me save men. A Japanese counterattack on May 4, 1945, saw 5,000 soldiers charge American lines, only to be shredded by M1 fire, suffering 4,000 dead to America's 714 casualties. The M1's ability to deliver 400 to 500 rounds per minute from a 12-man squad versus 150 to 180 from a Japanese squad redefined small unit tactics, enabling fire and maneuver strategies that overwhelmed slower-firing enemies. Japan wasn't blind to the M1's power. They tried to copy it with the Type 4 rifle, reverse-engineered from captured Garands. Using 7.7mm rounds and a 10-round magazine, it showed promise but was a pipe dream. Only 100 to 125 were assembled by war's end, as Japan's industry buckled under Allied bombing and resource shortages. The Type 100 submachine gun, firing weak 8mm Nambu rounds, reached just 27,000 units, too few to matter. Japan's military culture, obsessed with spiritual superiority, resisted prioritizing firepower. Colonel Masanobu Tsuji admitted post-war, admitting American weapon superiority would have crushed morale. We clung to Yamato's spirit as our men fell to automatic fire. Training manuals devoted pages to bayonet katas over marksmanship, reflecting a belief that spirit could trump technology, a belief shattered by the M1's relentless output. The M1 Garand was central to planning Operation Downfall, the planned invasion of Japan. Planners estimated needing 500,000 replacement rifles and 100 million .30-06 rounds monthly, expecting ferocious resistance from 2.5 million Arisakas, many obsolete or crude substitute standard models. Studies showed M1-equipped troops suffered 40% fewer casualties than those with bolt-action rifles in similar scenarios. Japan planned desperate measures, bamboo spears, suicide swimmers, biological weapons, but the M1's firepower would have been decisive. The atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki ended the war, sparing both sides a bloodbath projected to cost millions of lives. Post-war, the M1's legacy endured, influencing rifles like the Soviet SKS, French MAS-49, and Italian BM-59. Ironically, Japan's self-defense forces received 150,000 minutes and 1 second in the 1950s, training with the weapon that had humbled their predecessors. Today, the M1 Garand and Arisaka are collector's treasures. Over 500,000 minutes and 1 second have been sold through the civilian marksmanship program, their ping immortalized in films and games. General Patton called the M1 the greatest battle implement ever devised, a claim its specific performance upholds. Arisakas, especially with intact chrysanthemum markings, fetch high prices for their robust design, though their bolt-action obsolescence is undeniable. Both rifles have seen 21st century combat. M1s in the Middle East, Arisakas with insurgents in Afghanistan, but their story peaked in the Pacific. The M1's 40 to 50 shots per minute, 8-round clips, and semi-automatic precision gave every GI a firepower edge no Japanese soldier could match. The Arisaka, for all its strength, was a relic, its slow bolt no match for modern war's demands. The Pacific War wasn't won by courage alone, it was won by the math of firepower, embodied in the M1 Garand's relentless roar. From Guadalcanal's jungles to Okinawa's caves, its semi-automatic fire turned the tide, proving that technology, backed by industrial might, could outmatch even the fiercest warrior spirit. Lieutenant Kenji Yamamoto's final charge, his Arisaka with 3 rounds unfired, tells the story. Bravery couldn't overcome the M1's wall of lead. Want to dive deeper into the weapons and battles that shaped history? Subscribe, hit that bell, and share this story with fellow history buffs. Your support keeps these tales alive. Thanks for watching.